Al Gillespie is with us right now, though, Waikato University professor. Thanks for being with me. Now, a lot of people have said this, well, a couple of headlines, actually, I should be fair, this morning saying, World War III on the way. Bit overblown.
Completely. I mean, it's right to be concerned about any conflict, but this is not World War III. Russia and China are not tied by alliances to Iran, and they will not get militarily involved. Be concerned, but it's not going to be cataclysmic.
What would it take, do you think, for it to get cataclysmic? I mean, if Iran hits, I guess the worst case scenario would be Iran hitting a US base somewhere in the Middle East and then the US doubling down. And I mean, where does it go? Where could it go potentially?
That's not nuclear. That will be bad, but it's quite possible that Iran will target an American base in the region. And if they do, there will be a greater response, but it will be conventional. Your biggest concern is if it turned nuclear, and I cannot see that happening. I think that's very unlikely. I think if Iran had a nuclear weapon, you would have seen it by now.
What do you make of the comments by Winston Peters this morning on this program that he basically doesn't trust the numbers that are coming out of the International Atomic Energy Agency?
I think they're a little overblown. I think it's good to have faith in the international system. However, he is correct that there's many things that Iran could have hidden over the years, and it's not so much what the IAEA sees, it's what's been hidden from them, because this game's been going on for over 2 decades. And I imagine that there's a lot more beneath the surface that we aren't aware of.
So how can we say with such certainty then that they're not close to a nuclear weapon if we can't see what they're doing?
Because you would have seen more of a build-up. So if you track it to say what happened with North Korea, you can see a process before they eventually do an explosion. And when it does occur, it's of a very low magnitude, like 1 kiloton. And even then, after that, you've still got to weaponize it. So the steps that, if you look at the previous precedents, have not been followed.
They keep saying this has been a very successful operation. And I suppose if you're wanting to set back the enrichment process, then yes. But it doesn't mean that it will stop them from ever becoming a nuclear power, right? Because you've still got people with knowledge of how to do it. You're still going to have presumably China giving them the uranium, shipping the uranium. So if there's the will, there's a way.
This game's been going on for over 2 decades. They knew the strikes were coming. They will have made their area more secure than we're aware of. It's the kit, it's the material, it's the ability to put it all together, and it's the people. And all three aspects will not have been removed. They will have been deterred for a period, perhaps dented, but they can be rebuilt. It's part of what Mr. Trump wants, and like he wants to make it so that they have not got the capacity to make their own uranium at all in the future, which would mean sourcing it from an international marketplace where it would not be weapons grade. And so unless you do that, the game of cat and mouse could continue again. It's quite possible. But the problem is that international law says that each country has the right to make its own nuclear power and resources for civilian purposes, which is what Iran says it's doing.